Hello and welcome to my life. So my life is actually going to be a 4-part series where I'll be talking about a few things that I've gone through while in high school. This is actually going to be a pre-filmed 4-part series that I filmed with my dad. My dad doesn't talk a lot in these videos, he's just kind of here for emotional support, so expect a lot of me. So, let me introduce myself. I'm Christina, and like I said, you'll see my dad later on in this video. So, why don't we get into the video? This is episode 1. So it all started freshman year around Thanksgiving, where I found a lump on my neck right here, and I had pointed it out to my aunt because she was there when it actually came to mine. And when I told her, she told my dad, and me and my dad went to our family doctor. When we got there and the family doctor didn't really know what to make of the lump, she had us go through the emergency room at Rady Children's Hospital as soon as we could. And on the way to the hospital, my dad turns to me and...
On the way to the hospital, you had asked me, why is it that they sent us to Children's Hospital so quickly? Because you know, usually it takes a little longer in a couple of days to go from one doctor to the next. And you were suspicious that it was weird that they were sending us to Children's Hospital so quickly for an exam. And I had told you that just prepare yourself that you might have cancer.
So it may have been out of shock, or maybe it was because I was too young, because at the time I was 14. But when he told me this, I wasn't fazed. I wasn't scared at the word cancer. The idea never actually went through my head, because I just couldn't believe it. When we got to the hospital, they took an ultrasound of my neck, and the goo was very warm and sticky. That was actually only the first of many tests that I would go through from then until December. A few of the tests that I had after the ultrasound were a chest x-ray where they would see the inside of my body, so my organs, my bones, all that fun stuff. I also had a positron emission tomography scan, also known as a PET scan, and they would inject me with a radioactive glucose, or what they told me was sugar water. And in the scan, where it was just a bunch of x-rays connected to a computer, the glucose would shine in areas where sugar is used the most. And when it comes to cancer, cancer tends to use a lot of sugar. So when it lights up super bright, it is a sign and a big, hello, you might have cancer. I also had a CT scan, also known as a CAT scan, and this was my absolute favorite. No, I hated it. They would inject me with a very warm combination, and it was a, what was it called, Dad?
It doesn't say here what it's called.
Oh. It was a dye. They would inject me with a dye, and they would tell me, you might need to feel like you need to pee. Don't go pee, please. Instead, I threw up on my face. It was gross. And what was actually my first surgery in my life was called an excisional biopsy. So an excisional biopsy is where they take a sample, or in this case they took the whole lymph node out of my neck, the whole swollen part that was here. I went from no bump, I went from a bump to no bump with a scar. How fun. My first souvenir. Cancer is really scary, potentially fatal, but with today's technology and doctors, death from cancer is not as likely as it used to be. Actually, last year, of all the new cases of cancer, only 4.3 ended in death. So obviously, chemotherapy is a medicine, which means that it comes with a lot of side effects. The most common one is hair loss. But it also comes with fatigueness, nausea, and a very weak immune system. The reason for this is because the chemo attacks rapidly growing cells in your body, and that isn't just the cancer cells. That also includes your hair growth cells, which means it stops the hair follicles from producing hair. It also attacks red and white blood cells, which means you're going to have an incredibly low immune system. And for me, that meant I couldn't have hugs. And I love hugs. So when my chemotherapy was done, my doctor told me that my immune system was actually healthy enough where I could return back to school, but I would still need to go through radiation. We called our school and they said that I could return to fourth quarter, and I was really excited. But because I still had to go through radiation, I had to balance school and radiation because radiation would often interfere with my first period, so I would have to study outside of school and talk to the teacher, get notes from my friends, and pretty much had to teach myself. But it was well worth it to be back at school. I was so excited. So radiation lasted for about 2 months, and that pretty much went through the whole fourth quarter, and I finished just before the summer started. So I'm done just in time for summer. It was great. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1. I'll be linking all of the research that I did down in the description below. I hope you guys find it informational. I found it quite interesting. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! So relapse is when cancer that has gone into remission suddenly comes back with positive signs. Say bye, Dad.
Bye.